By Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Best time of the year for sports. Great. You found the right place. Let me just put that out there. You found the right spot to talk all things sports with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Gashouse Gang. Hi, Ranj.
What's up, dude? What a weekend.
Dude, what a great weekend. So much going on. Huge game tonight. Blue Jays Mariners is really exciting. I love game sevens. The Blue Jays and Mariners don't play in these. In fact, the Mariners have never been in this situation at game 7 of an ALCS where they have a chance to go to their first World Series. Blue Jays haven't been there since 93.
Yeah.
Long time ago, my freshman year in college. Spent the weekend in Bloomington for homecoming and got to do sports on a Sunday morning yesterday from Assembly Hall in the same classroom where I learned basketball from Bob Knight. He taught a class there.
That's fun.
It was kind of cool, like going back in time.
Yeah.
Always dreamed about what that would be like, and I did that. Saw a really good football team beat up Michigan State.
Number 2 in the country, Thomas.
It's unbelievable.
Your football team is second ranked.
Yeah. Some have them number 1 in their power rankings. There's still a long way to go, but man, it is just incredible. The Bears won.
Oh, bear down, baby.
Yeah.
So everybody did an appropriate amount of bearing down this weekend. I want to congratulate you on it. Well done, Tom. Well done, Matt. They came through. They didn't look great, but they're still winning games. Their trajectory is it's going up, baby, and they have a real head coach.
Yeah, they do, and
that's the key.
From a fantasy standpoint, it hurt. Caleb didn't do anything for me. But that's fine. Great. Whatever. Michael said he loved my interview with Don Fisher yesterday, voice of the Hoosiers. He's like he's been doing it for 53 years. He's like the Jack Buck of Indiana.
Yeah,
there'll never be another Don Fisher. We love Fish. Also, the Blues won, got a home win.
They did, so they can win at home. That's good.
They got a home win. It's early, but congratulations to them on doing that. No, seriously, they did play well. I mean, Snuggerud and Kyrou got goals. Those are the guys you want scoring. They've got the touch. They have an incredible potential, I think, in terms of scoring. Defense, I'm not so sure about yet. I want to see this thing work out, but they played better in front of Jordan Bennington, who made 18 saves. City finished out its season tying Real Salt Lake 2-2. The big story there, though, was Roman Berkey gets a 2-year extension, and Chris, he doesn't do that unless he thinks that City has something cooking there. He's not going to come back. He could play anywhere in the world he wanted to. He, for the most part, he could have played overseas, whatever, but he sees something there. So that's good. Perhaps there's something brewing there with ownership. That there was thing around.
There was some reporting on that from Tom Timmerman that he was shown plans, which does happen with players that could be free agents or they're looking to sign an extension, that they want some assurance from ownership, from management, that there's going to be a encouraging, because we were promised playoffs this past season, and clearly it did not go that way. It went the exact opposite.
That's right. You saw the greatest performance by a baseball player in the history of the game, and perhaps the greatest player to ever play the game. Shohei Ohtani on Friday night had 3 home runs in one game and pitched 6 scoreless innings and struck out 10. It is an amazing performance that we'll be talking about for years unless he duplicates that at some point. A game to get them to the World Series, that just is unbelievable. It really is. And the Brewers, who steamrolled through the season, best record in baseball, get ousted in 4.
Sometimes you don't realize in the moment. You know a game is good. You know a guy's playing a good game, but you don't realize historically how great the performance is until it is over. And after he's hit that 3rd home run and he's recorded that 10th strikeout already, as a pitcher, you realize that he has an argument, and I've seen more people arguing it than not. In fact, I can't even recall a person who has not argued that was the greatest single game baseball performance by an individual player in the history of baseball. And that, as you mentioned, it was also a clinching game, one that sent them to a World Series. I don't know that anybody can make a good argument against it.
No.
It was that incredible what he did over the weekend.
It is absolutely amazing. And as Lauren points out, Tommy Edmonds heading back to the World Series, another former Cardinal. You might get another one in Randy Arozarena. If the Mariners win, he could be heading back to the World Series. And you think that's something. What if Albert Pujols takes the Padres to the World Series?
Now,
Albert is interviewing with the Pods, folks. Get ready.
So we talked to Sam Blum, was it a couple of weeks ago, about this opening, and he covers Major League Baseball. And he is reporting, and has done so in the last 10, 15 minutes, that Albert, who once was a candidate for the Angels job, is no longer in the running for that. So it looks like at this point, it's the Padres. Things could change here. We don't know exactly what's going to happen as the World Series comes and then ends, and the regular season, or the baseball season comes to an end. Things could change a little bit, but it looks like the Padres have interest. And at one time, we thought maybe Albert takes that Angels job. He's already on staff there. He's already being paid. Maybe they just make him the manager. Well, apparently that is not going to happen.
Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. and anybody else in that clubhouse will listen to every word that Albert Pujols says.
Of course.
I guarantee it.
Of course.
That'll straighten that out. On the drive home from Bloomington, I painted this just fun little thing. I said, what would Cardinals fans do if the Padres called the Cardinals for permission to talk to Ollie? And Ollie went to San Diego and ended up going on to win it. Cardinals fans, it's just like, it's funny. The Padres are a great scenario for any manager right now.
Oh.
They have a loaded roster. Of course, that's not going to happen. I just wanted to get a reaction out of my friend who was driving with me. He just laughed. But wouldn't that be something if Albert Pujols managed the Padres and could win it all in his first year with that kind of roster? What if he has Yadier Molina with him? We don't know where Molina is going to go.
And I don't look, we've talked a lot about those two guys. I don't know that Yadier Molina, I think he wants to be a manager. I don't know that he would be long-term cut out to be a Major League Baseball manager. And it's not that he's not capable, doesn't know the game. Clearly he does. He's a brilliant baseball guy. We all know that. It's just the goofy work that goes into it, having to deal with the media. I think that would wear thin very quickly for him. I think having to deal with the press every single day before and after the game, having to take questions when things aren't going well, I don't know that he would like that. I think he thinks that he would like it, but once you start to do it, and if stuff isn't going great and you get challenged on something, I'm not sure that he would be up for that job.
Well, I think that if he spent a year watching somebody else manage and he had the role of bench coach, let's say, he may decide for himself whether he can do that or not. I think that he's capable of doing anything that he wants, but he needs a little bit of time. I think Albert seems to be ready for that sort of scenario. He spent a little time in front of the camera and the microphone and some of those things that perhaps he could handle, but I'm not saying that Yachty couldn't at some point, but maybe not right this very second. Is Yachty going to be standing next to Ollie Marmol in the dugout? Bernie Miklasz on my show yesterday didn't think so.
Yeah, I think that's probably
talking to Chaim Bloom about it yesterday. He said he was getting to know Yachty a little bit better and was glad that he joined for the last 3 games and certainly, or the last few games, whatever it was, last few series, and certainly was looking forward to seeing what Yachty might be able to accomplish in his life, and gave him all the credit in the world. Blah blah blah. It didn't sound like something that was imminent, no doubt.
And it's not that it won't happen ever. It's just that it doesn't look like that's going to be a thing now.
Yeah, what you need to concentrate on with the Cardinals is who's going to be in the starting rotation. I mean, let's just be real.
There you go.
Who's going to be in the rotation? What's this lineup going to look like? The Cardinals are not going to be an organization where the things are going to change. Let's just put it that way. The video feed. So if you're getting your video feed frozen up for any reason, it's because of my computer. How about that?
It's you?
I'll put it on me. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just seeing I'm seeing a lot of stalls. Is yours circling?
Yeah, mine's stalling too.
Yeah, okay.
I think the
I
Wi-Fi
blame it on
here is-
Amazon, the Amazon outage earlier today.
There was an Amazon outage?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Overnight? Yeah.
What the hell?
There was an Amazon outage,
How did I
which
not hear about
affects a
this?
lot of things.
Well, it's affecting the Gashouse Gang today.
What else happened in sports? There's so much. And Lauren just said you guys are frozen. Told you.
Lauren, thanks for watching us on
Not just
Facebook.
me, you.
Us. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you can watch the Gashouse Gang.
So it is an exciting time for sports. There's a lot, and we're leaving out one other story, and that is they fell one spot from 14. But don't be discouraged. Mizzou is 6-1, and they can say that. It doesn't matter. They're 6-1. They are very much in contention for a college football playoff spot. Now, they're going to have to play a lot better than they did against Auburn, but credit to them. They did score the last 13 points of the game, and they did win the football game, as ugly as it was. And they're 6-1 with one loss to Alabama, who is the fourth-ranked team in the nation right now. So it's looking better for Missouri. There's still a long way to go. This win would be a monster win for them. It would knock Vanderbilt out of playoff contention for the moment, and it would vault Missouri into a very good position because the whole world is high on Vanderbilt right now, and Mizzou has a chance to be spoiler on a national stage.
So this will be really interesting because 2 weeks from tomorrow is the first CFP ranking that comes out. So we're just a couple of weeks away from that. You get that win this week, you're certainly in the top 12. I don't think there's any question you're in the top 12. You don't, gets a little dicier from there. But at this point, you're right, Tom. They've got it in their own hands. You win this game this weekend, and you're looking pretty good for that first appearance in the top 12 CFP. And I think that is a reasonable expectation for Missouri fans, is that their team, maybe not every single year, but occasionally, you're in the conversation to be in that playoff. With it expanded, with it including that many teams, you should be in that conversation. Again, not every single year, but we should be talking about Mizzou more often than we do getting into a playoff. That should be the goal. I think if you're a Mizzou fan, every single year you should be in the conversation. That's what you want. You're in the SEC. You're spending tons of money. You're building a new facility on one side of the stadium. It's time you want to move into the big time. You're an SEC team. You need to be an upper level SEC team. That's what you want if you're a Missouri fan. That's what you're shooting for. And you'll get into the playoff if you are that every year, because they let like half the league in. I'm kidding. But the SEC gets a lot of attention. And the schedule is tough. I mean, you got to go to Vanderbilt. You got to host Texas A&M, third-ranked team in America. Mississippi State is better. At Oklahoma, at Arkansas, who just fired their coach Sam Pittman and gave A&M all they could handle in that game on Saturday. So a long way to go. By the way, Illinois is back in the top 25. They didn't play, but they're back. They're number 23. And I got to say, they got through the tough part of their schedule. They have 2 losses, but they are to numbers 1 and 2 in the country. Ohio State and Indiana are their 2 losses. At Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, at Wisconsin, Northwestern. Mm-hmm.
It is not out of the question that they could take all 5 of those. So Illinois then would have 2 losses, and would they be able to squeeze their way into the conversation? They obviously can't take another loss.
No.
But they got to hope that Ohio State and Indiana keep on trucking, and there's a chance for them. Not a great one, but there is a chance for them. Much better chance for Missouri.
The thing that does hurt them is the amount by which they lost to Indiana. It's not that they lost to Indiana. It's that they just got clobbered there. So that does hurt them a little bit. I don't think, you can't be upset with them losing games to number 1 and number 2, right? Yeah. You can't. If those are your only losses all season long, looks pretty good, but you just got absolutely beat the hell up by the Hoosiers. But
Yeah.
53 points?
It was 63-10.
That is a 50.
Not that I remember every play of that game.
My God. It was so out of hand.
But in December, and when they're talking about you and it was back in September, maybe, sometimes it's how you play lately. Now you got to go stick it to the rest of your schedule. 5 games still left on it for Illinois. And there's so much that we're not even halfway into the show. We got a lot to do. Amy Markscore is coming on the show today. Is that
talk
right?
a little blues hockey with us.
Talk some blues hockey with us. We're going to take your questions. Looks like we're running smoothly now on our YouTube, X, and Facebook feeds. Hope I didn't jinx it. We are on 104.1 FM, 1120 AM, the Odyssey app. And I want to talk a little bit more. Maybe we'll play a bite from Chaim Bloom with me yesterday about his plans for pitching. I think that's kind of the meaty part of that conversation that we can discuss. He also got into the catching position a little bit with Ivan Herrera. That on KMOX's Gashouse Gang right after this.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Ask most contractors about a kitchen or bath remodel, and you'll get similar answers.
So how long?
About 2 months.
Longer than that.
3 days.
Longer than... Wait a minute, what?
3 days.
3 days?
3 days or less. With 3-day kitchen and bath, you get a new kitchen or bath finished with top quality products and craftsmanship, all in 3 days or less guaranteed.
No eating out because my kitchen is in shambles for a month?
Nope.
No borrowing the neighbor's bathroom for weeks on end?
You'll have a whole new look in 3 days or less.
And those other guys?
They want our web address.
Hey, what's your web address?
See?
A lot of people will.
Just visit 3daykitchen.com. 3daykitchen.com.
3 days?
3 days.
Yeah, isn't that something? 3-day kitchen and bath. Simply amazing.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, you've been helping families for more than 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and the end of the year is a good time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan. The time is now. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com, GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
News, talk, cars. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, it's the Gashouse Gang with Chris Ranji. I'm Tom Ackerman. Amy Markscore is going to talk some blues hockey with us in about 10 minutes. I wanted to play you this. This is from Sports on a Sunday Morning. Chaim Bloom. He is the new president of baseball operations. And one of the topics I brought up with him, I told him, I said, hey, I could not name your 5-man rotation right now. And I'm curious what sort of depth you have right now in the minor leagues. And I said, I would assume that some action is going to take place once the World Series is over and you can start moving around pieces on your roster. Here's what he said.
For sure. Well, first, to speak about the minor leagues, there's still a lot of work left to do, of course, but I'm really happy with the way our pitching program took a step forward in 2025. Some of our frontline guys, probably some of the guys that are most prominent for various reasons, struggled here and there. An exception, kind of a qualified exception, is Tekoa Roby, who really was making strides. And then, unfortunately, he's had some injury issues over the years that eventually culminated in the Tommy John that he had this summer. So we're going to have to wait a while on him. But it was really exciting to see what he was doing before he went down. But beyond that, throughout the system, we saw a lot of guys take steps forward. And it was really cool to see. You saw that group of starters at AA that helped that team win a championship, and really up and down the system, guys whose stuff grew, who understood their identities better, started revamping their arsenals to be able to be more effective, beat hitters in the strike zone. So it's a lot to build on. Obviously, some of that is more down the road and is not necessarily going to factor into our 2026 rotation. We are really starting to talk about now what we want to do there. I've talked about it. We're going to give Kyle Leahy a chance to come into camp stretched out and see what that looks like. There's certain guys, whether you look at a Liberator or McGreevy, who really made positive impressions throughout a long 2025 season that hopefully we'll be able to take steps forward. And my hope is that as we go through the winter, we'll be able to find guys that we can put into this rotation, ideally, that can be a part of it for a number of years. And that's going to be a big focus of ours as we look at the market.
All right. So he just gave you 3 of the 5 right there. Leahy, they're going to give a shot. McGreevy and Liberator. And then 2, where he said a couple of guys, it sure sounds like they're going to go out and try to find, whether it's free agency or via trade, a couple of pitchers, sounds like controllable pitchers, that they can put right into that rotation and have it for the next few years, or at least 2 years, because that's what you need, Chris. You can't do this whole project without starting pitching. You're going to mess everything up. You have to have some people that can at least go 5 or 6 innings and give you a chance to see what you have everywhere. And starting pitching obviously is the foundation to any team at any level with any record whatsoever.
And so within that answer is I think the reality that Sonny Gray, they're going to try to find a place for him, that he won't be on the team next year. So whether it is the Giants, who are going to be looking for pitching, and maybe the Braves too, I've seen some reporting on that. I think it makes the most sense for every party involved here, that you let Sonny Gray go to a place where they're a little closer to contending. And for the Cardinals' sake, you maybe give an opportunity to a younger guy. Who knows? I mean, you've got all kinds of options here. But if the goal, there's sort of a continuation from this past season, the continuation of, I'm not going to call it runway, because I think everybody's tired of hearing runway.
We've closed the runway.
Yeah. But there are still some guys they want to get a look at. And maybe that's what you end up doing in 2026, which is acceptable to me, unless you think, hey, this team could be really good if they just get that one starter. But I don't know that you're going into 2026 thinking that.
Yeah, I think you want to go in with about 8, 9 different guys that you think could start games for you. Maybe even more than that. You're not going to have 5. We all know that. You need to have some depth there. I do like the thought of Quinn Matthews turning it around, but you can't expect him to just go right into a major league rotation. You're going to have to see more. I like what he said about Tekoa Roby. He saw what we all saw, that nice, repeatable delivery, really good stuff. Unfortunately, Tommy John's going to set him back for a little bit. He mentioned in there the AA starters. I thought that was pretty encouraging. And, of course, one of those is Liam Doyle, who is going to start to make the climb very quickly. So you're going to see him, I bet you, sooner than later, knocking on the door of that rotation too. But he did talk about the AA starters helping that team win the Texas League. They're not ready to jump in, obviously, at this level just yet, but there's some good help on the way. And it sounds like an encouraged Chaim Bloom from that standpoint. But I'll be very curious. This guy is known for finding pitching at a value price.
Yep.
And getting really, really good work out of him. I would love to go down the road with him on his theory on innings load, openers, hybrids, that kind of thing. I think there could be some innovation here moving forward. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I do think the Cardinals will do some tinkering and some experimenting along those lines. We're going to take a break. We will come back. We'll talk some hockey with Amy Mark scores. We'll get back into more baseball, football, whatever comes to mind. The Gashouse Gang on a Monday is always a lot of fun like that. There's so much coming out of the weekend.
It's great.
It's awesome.
Great time of year.
I love this time of year. I can't get enough of all these sports converging. Back in a moment. We're sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling. SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman.
From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM, your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Perfect. That's the weather. Perfect. 66 degrees and sunny. The high will be 73.
DEA's National Prescription Drug Takeback Day. Learn more at DEATakeback.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Takeback Day, October 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Think back to the holiday season last year. You're surrounded by your family. It's been months since everyone has been together like this. Everyone is talking and catching up, sharing stories and laughing, and your grandson is real quick-witted. He cracks a joke and everyone seems to laugh. But you missed it. How does that make you feel? Do you start to disengage? Do you feel disconnected from the group? I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler, and I don't want this to happen to you this holiday season. Come visit Dr. Adam Voss and me at the Audiology Center for our Here for the Holidays event happening in the month of October. We're offering free hearing screenings, free earwax removals, free consultations, and a $500 coupon towards the latest hearing aids. Call us today to make an appointment for this special event through the month of October. 636-441-7470, or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home. 2 gig upload, 2 gig download, mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
For 25 years, the Warner's Warm-Up Coat Drive has been a dependable resource for impoverished men, women, and children in the bi-state. Together Credit Union is proud to team up with the Kurt Warner First Things First Foundation and Operation Food Search for the 25th Annual Warner's Warm-Up Coat Drive. From October 20th to November 2nd, new and gently used winter clothes of all sizes will be collected at all 14 Together Credit Union locations to help keep our neighbors warm during the cold winter months. For more information and a full list of donation locations, visit kurtwarner.org.
Total Information AM, weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Oh, I love that tune. Takes me back to my youth, waiting for Blues hockey to take the air with us. Chris Ranji, I'm Tom Ackerman. Amy Markscores is with us. You know, her first gig at KMOX was covering the St. Louis Blues.
It was.
And all you did was go on and win a Stanley Cup. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I would like to take all of the credit for that.
You should.
Yeah.
Before we talk hockey about this team, take me back to
what
that.
else am I supposed to do?
Why are you in here? Did we just do
She
this?
should absolutely
we just
take-
did this for 3 hours. Now you're back in this room.
Can you take me back to that? What was that like for you as a hockey fan, but also a hockey player, to have that assignment for KMOX to work with Chris Kerber, which this will circle back to what you're about to do with him. But the fact that you were working with the Blues and you were covering the team at that time.
Yeah, it really was a dream come true, because I found my 8th grade yearbook and it talks about what I did in my 8th grade school year. But the last part of it said, but Amy's true love is St. Louis Blues hockey, and it's her dream to be, and I quote, a hockey announcer.
Oh, a hockey announcer.
A hockey announcer. And there's a picture of me, 8th grade, that was my dream, to be a hockey announcer. And 30 years later, I got that opportunity thanks to KMOX. And yeah, I mean, I know a lot of native St. Louisans remember when the Blues practiced. There was Brentwood, but then there was also the U.S. Ice Sports Complex out in Chesterfield, which then became Hardee's, which then was knocked down. But I was homeschooled, so I'd hang out at the U.S. Ice Sports Complex when I was 11, 12, 13 years old and interview the Blues players for a little hockey newsletter that I wrote.
I think I was
on my
just
Blues
getting
document.
started covering the team at that time.
We were
So you and I
probably
were
there.
probably
Yeah, both there at that time. And so that to have the opportunity to join the Blues broadcast was an absolute dream come true.
That's awesome. That is pretty cool.
So tell us about this show. For people who are listening to the Gashouse Gang and have not seen you yet on Matrix Midwest.
Yes. So it is Offside Hockey with Kerbs and Amy, Chris Kerber, the Blues broadcaster. And it's an hour-long hockey show every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on Matrix Midwest. You can see us. We talk not just Blues hockey, breaking down the games. We always have a guest, whether it be Joey Vitale, who is going to start breaking down some plays. Maybe it will be Barrett Jackman, Chris Pronger, Blues alumni, other hockey writers across the league. We also take time to discuss what's going on around the NHL. So obviously Blues centric, we focus on Blues hockey, but also look at what's going on around the rest of the league. So it's a lot of fun, a unique show. And obviously, Kerbs. It's always exciting when he's on board.
I love Kerbs. Tell us again, and we'll repeat it one more time at the end, but how do people get it?
So Matrix Midwest, and you can get it both on Spectrum or over the air channel 32. It's also on Spectrum if you have Spectrum. Let's say you don't have Spectrum, you're a streamer, YouTube or whatever. You can download the Matrix Midwest app. That's how I watch it. That's how I watch Matrix Midwest. Matrix, Matrix Midwest. There's an app and you can stream it live. So a lot of my friends, a lot of my family, if you don't necessarily have that over the air television, if you have a different provider other than Spectrum, the best way is the Matrix Midwest app.
So
6 p.m. on Wednesdays.
Okay.
Amy, the Blues can in fact win at home, huh?
Yeah, they can. I said this earlier. If you're going to lose, I'm okay with losing big, because that's not something that's sustainable. It's the same thing like winning 5-1, 8-0. It's not illustrative of how you're going to win for the rest of the year. It's kind of a fluke. Maybe you had a couple guys on fire. Maybe the team you're playing against had a really off night. Okay, so it's not going to be something that's repeated game in, game out. But what it does do is it kind of knocks you back a bit and makes you reassess and look at the habits and look what you're doing on the ice. Look at how you're approaching the game. Is this a mental toughness issue? You hear the cliche a lot about getting to the hard areas. Are you not able to execute on your habits? For Blues coach Jim Montgomery, a huge part of the game are defensive habits. That's how he turned the Blues around last year. That's partly what gave them that push going into the postseason last year, were the defensive habits. We didn't see that on the ice. The Blues in their defensive zone, in their own zone at home, were scrambling. You didn't see those consistent habits. And so I'm okay with big losses because it helps you reset, gives you a little bit of that extra motivation to show this is not who we are. This is not a team that is going to make those mistakes over and over again. So to come back at home against a very good, dynamic Dallas Stars team, to win that game 3-1, Jordan Binnington back on his game. I think a huge part of that game and a huge key to the Blues' success over the season is Jordan Kyrou and his play. Jim Montgomery said it was one of the best defensive games, one of the best overall games he's seen Jordan Kyrou in his career. And I agree with that. Jordan Kyrou was back checking and creating his own opportunities to score.
That's important, no doubt. And right now, the goal leader on this team is Jake Neighbors, great player. Jimmy Snuggerud, great player, 3 goals already. Buchnevich has 4 assists. Those are your points leaders. And then you have to really scroll down this list to find Dylan Holloway, who has 1 goal, did it against the Blackhawks, but he also trucked Sam Rinzel and showed what he can do as well in that area. I'm not worried about Dylan Holloway at all.
No, I'm not either. And it's like any other beginning of this season. Every player, every forward especially, is going to have that game where things just start to click, or maybe they get on the board. Obviously, it's a gorilla on your back that you'd like to shake off sooner rather than later. But the Blues have depth at forward. What's interesting is, like Doug Armstrong has said, they don't have a McDavid-Draisaitl combo. They don't necessarily have that first line that just will blow you out of the water. But what they do have, 6, 7, 8 guys that can be one of the best second lines, and that's important, a second line strength, because it's that death by 1,000 cuts that Doug Armstrong keeps telling you. It's not just like you have your top line going against your opponent's top line. It means you have a really, really good third line. You're looking at Braden Shen centering a third line. So those third line matchups become more and more unequal as you go further down the lineup, because your bottom 6 are perhaps better than anyone else's bottom 6.
All right, Amy, Jimmy Snuggerud's 3 goals in 5 games. Right now, he is 4th. He has the 4th best odds of winning the Calder Trophy. Should we... I mean, I know we're going to keep an eye on that, right, as the season goes on. But how likely do you think it is that he could pull that off? Because I have seen, I know we talked about this last week, there were a couple of good, smart hockey people who think he might actually win that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can look at it 2 ways. I am biased, and objectively, he's got a good chance. So I'm obviously rooting for it. And what's so impressive about Jimmy Snuggerud, you've heard people compare his shot to Vladimir Tarasenko, in the sense that goalies can't read it because he shoots it the way he shoots it. Even if it's super close to his skate, he doesn't need that pullback or a big windup. It's super close to his skates, so you wouldn't expect it to be as heavy as it is, but it is heavy. So as good as his shot is, he might be a better passer. He had a pass a couple of games ago to Robert Thomas, and Jimmy Snuggerud was at the top of the faceoff circle, and he is looking across the blue line. He's looking across the ice and just blind passes it down to the goal line where Robert Thomas is set up. And it was tape to tape. So impressive. And it's moments like that where that could push him over the edge for that Calder Trophy race, because he's got such a complete game in that sense.
The Blues traded Zach Bolduc for Logan Mailloux. Of course, the early returns are not great, but it's also very early, or is it? I mean, should we be giving Logan Mailloux a little more time to round into form?
I would, for sure, for a couple of reasons. Zach Bolduc had more NHL games under his belt already. He had more experience than Logan Mailloux did, who just had a handful of games. So in that sense, Bolduc is already ahead of Mailloux. Also, Bolduc is a forward, and Mailloux is a defenseman. Defensemen take longer to develop. If you look at the timeline for developing hockey players, the way they mature into their games, even like by age. Forwards come out of the gate flying. It's why you have a Connor McDavid or you have a Sidney Crosby at 17, able to play on a top line. Then after them, it's going to be defensemen. And then after that, goalies. And you can even see defensemen and goalies can a lot of times even play longer in the league because they get to their games later. So you have to give Mayu time to develop on the blue line. And he did sit in that last game against the Dallas Stars. And it's not just like, oh, you're being punished. Your play wasn't up to par. That's not what that is. Jim Montgomery has talked to Mayu, say, we're going to give you a chance to watch the game from the press box. Especially for defensemen, what it lets you see is how much time you actually have. The game looks slower from up there, and that can help a defenseman feel less rushed because we've seen those moments where Mayu looks a little rushed in those plays. And so just to be able to remove yourself from the game, watch the play develop, see how much time you actually have can be very beneficial. And oh, by the way, if you're up in the press box, maybe you can chat with veteran defenseman Robert Bortuzzo. Maybe you can sit there and chat with Hall of Fame defenseman Al McInnes. Maybe you can chat with Chris Prong, or those guys are up there. They are going to help him as he develops into that play. So I think it's way too early to start trying to prognosticate who is the winner or loser of the Bolduc Mayu trade.
Blues will play tomorrow against the Kings, so we are expecting some sort of tribute for our guy John Kelly, yeah?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it might look kind of like how they with a player, Tom, you might know this.
Yeah, we actually asked Tom Stillman that very question when he was on the Gashouse Gang, and he said it'll be very similar to how they would welcome back a former player, as you said. So it's not going to be like he's out on the ice and they stop the, they'd have a ceremony for him or something before the game.
Bring him a car.
I think they're going to
drive a car under the ice, a big truck.
I think they will, coming back from a timeout or something along those lines, put him up on the screen and let the crowd give him a big ovation is what's going to happen.
That'll be nice.
That's appropriate. And he'll appreciate the heck out of that. And JK is just one of the best guys ever.
Matt Pajeski, the producer for the Chris and Davey show and the Gashouse Gang, I'm pretty sure just gave us a wrap it up sign.
Is he kicking me out?
I feel like I saw his hands go up to say, all right, get the hell out of here.
We've enjoyed it. So tell us one more time how to catch you and Curbs on Wednesday at 6.
Yes. Matrix Midwest, I believe it's 32 over the air or on Spectrum. There's a Matrix Midwest channel on Spectrum, or download the Matrix Midwest app and watch it, stream it live.
The balloting for the Missouri Athletic Club Sports Personality of the Year has ended. So all of the members have put their votes in. There are 6 candidates for Sports Personality of the Year at the Jack Buck Awards. 3 of the candidates are Blues. We'll tell you who's on that ballot. And I don't know when we get those results, but they'll be pretty soon. We'll see who you would have picked. I'll tell you next.
Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the huge savings.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KingdomOX.com/events.
From your friends at Lombardo Homes, congrats to Dave Glover and the DGS Show on 25 years of building something great. Thanks for keeping St. Louis entertained, informed, and laughing all along the way.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-979-3168. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Great to have Amy Markscores making her Gashouse Gang debut.
Every Monday, she'll be with us talking some puck.
We talked some puck with her. We talked some baseball and all kinds of sports before that. The Jack Buck Awards, the Missouri Athletic Club, December 8th. Is what used to be called the Sports Personality of the Year dinner back in the day. And when Mr. Buck passed away, they renamed it the Jack Buck Awards, Jack Buck Sports Awards. Sports Personality of the Year. You can only win it once. Biggest names in St. Louis sports have won it. First winner was Bob Gibson. Everybody from Pujols to Hall to you name it. You know, the big dogs win this thing. But you can only win it once. So Eli Drinkwitz not on the ballot. He would be a good candidate. They're in playoff contention. But here's the six. So I mentioned three Blues. They are Jim Montgomery, Robert Thomas, and Jordan Bennington. Two Cardinals are on the ballot, Brendan Donovan and Mason Wynn. And the sixth is Missouri basketball coach Dennis Gates. Their team made the NCAA tournament, had a nice little run in the SEC.
All right. You know what? So we don't know yet who it's going to be, right?
We don't know who won. No, but the balloting is closed, as I understand it. The members have, so we're not swaying anybody one way or the other. That's why I brought it up. I believe it closed at noon.
So Mason Wynn's going to win a Gold Glove this year.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan had a great year. I think it's going to be Jim Montgomery.
I agree with you.
I think it's him because of where they were, then where they ended up when he came in and took over as the head coach in the middle of the season. I think it's tough to beat that turnaround and to give credit. If you're going to give credit to the Blues for a turnaround, the natural place to go is the new head coach who comes in and, it takes them to the playoffs when they looked like anything but a playoff team early in the year. And even though they had a really disappointing, heartbreaking exit in the playoffs, I think just getting them there, getting them to that point, because I don't think we were expecting it early on with the way they started, the fact they got there was pretty remarkable. So it's got to be Montgomery, right?
I think it is. I think Monty will win it. I think that there's a chance that some of those other Blues votes could go to those players, but I doubt it. I think that you're right. The figurehead of the organization, the guy who took them there, Jim Montgomery, will probably be the winner of that. They took the big bad Winnipeg Jets, as you mentioned, down to the last second, and oh man, should have gotten them on the road too.
That one's tough.
That is a tough one because who knows after that? You just never know. The Chicago Bears were victorious. The best team in the NFL is
Bears.
The Indianapolis Colts by record. The best team in the league is still the Kansas City Chiefs. It's amazing. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, and they got by the Vikings. A good win for them. I listened to that one on the way back from Bloomington. But the Chiefs, man, 31-0 over the Raiders, who didn't put up a fight at Arrowhead. And it just, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm just saying this overall. They are now showing once again why they're a great organization. I cringe at the thought of them hosting throughout the playoffs again. I would love to see them.
Somebody different.
I want to see them get challenged on the road by somebody. Couldn't someone else in the AFC step up?
And it would be nice if teams who face the Chiefs don't have to play against them and the officiating, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to not have to go up the officials who are,
I miss the old. I'm so old school. Like I miss the Denver Broncos being good. I miss the Chicago Bears being good. I've always told you. I've always told you the Bears should always be good. And man, isn't it a shame how bad the Miami Dolphins are? That is one of the classic franchises.
And I love Mike McDaniel too. I wish that was going better there because he's going to get fired. And that sucks because I think he's a really smart football guy, but 1-6, I don't know how you allow that to continue for much longer. And it could be the kind of thing where, although I'm doubting just how likely it is for him to get another head coaching job someday, I have this feeling that if he were to get another opportunity, he might be pretty good after that first go around. And I said the same thing about Matt Nagy, by the way. People trashed Nagy, and he deserved the criticism he got his first go around as Bears head coach. He's back with the Chiefs. Now his name is coming up again, and I said this. Matt Nagy looks to me to be the kind of guy that his second go around as a head coach, he might be pretty successful. And I bet the next team that he coaches does end up being good.
Sneaky good team to watch. They're underdogs tonight. Tampa Bay at Detroit. If the Bucks pull it off, they'll be 6-1. They'll even the Colts for the best record in the NFL.
Go Bucks.
They got a nice looking team.
I need the Lions to lose.
Oh, there you go. Thanks for joining us. The Gashouse Gang of KMOX. Bernie Miklasz with us tomorrow.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement.